Good morning. Thought I'd ramble a little bit this morning on politics. Just not current politics. Somebody asked me what it meant to be a libertarian. Well, for a long time, the Libertarian Party was kind of waylaid by non-libertarian people. But when the Mises caucus took over, I felt like it moved more toward my end of libertarian. I'm a conservative. I am a person who believes in conserving the way of American life, the American dream, where every person is given the chance to fulfill their own potential. And I think that should be done through meritocracy. I believe that 100%. Earn it. It's that simple. Now, that doesn't mean that I think that we should, sorry about the noise, that doesn't mean that I think we should take money from the rich and make their kids earn it. Part of what the rich, and when I say rich, from my level of economics, I mean anybody making more than $200,000 a year. That's a lot of money. At least it used to be. I'm not sure where it is now. I haven't looked at it as far as inflation goes recently. But anybody making that kind of money can store a load of wealth. They can stash away a good bit of money year to year. We shouldn't be taking that money from them so their kids can't have it and make their kids earn it. Part of what they're working for is the future of their kids. So I'm not a big let's take money from the rich when they pass. The estate tax, as far as I'm concerned, should be near zero, as should all taxes. So I believe that rich people, when they pass their money on to irresponsible kids, those kids will lose that money or end up in the prison system if they're completely irresponsible. I also believe that anybody who's not acting ethical will end up losing their money. I think the market can take care of it. Don't do that. The ability for government to take people's money from the what is it called? The graduated tax scale. So if you make more money, you have to pay more taxes. That doesn't make any sense. You make more money, so you have to pay the government for the right to make more money. And I'm not saying there's not unethical people on the high end of the financial scale. Oh, I'm sure there are. I'm sure that, just like in politics, anybody that is on that end of the scale, there's a certain percentage of them, and I don't know what that percentage is, that are willing to walk all over people to maintain and get their wealth. Again, I think the marketplace can take care of those people if allowed to. Right now, what we have is big government protecting big business. That's not what the founders of this great country intended. What they intended was if a company fails, then another one rises and takes its place. We don't bail out companies because they're too big to fail. That's ridiculous. There's no such thing. That's literally a nonsensical statement. Too big to fail. No. Well, if you failed and you're big, you were big and you failed. I have a little bit more coffee. So the idea that government has their fingers in everything has gotten out of control, and they do. And we pay rent. We pay rent to the government on our own homes. And if you don't think it's rent, you go 1 year without paying property taxes, and you see if you get evicted. Trust me, you'll get evicted. I'm not encouraging anybody to not pay their taxes. I'm encouraging everybody to change the system. Property taxes collected by your county, in my heart, I believe it's unconstitutional. And right now, a lot of you people are saying, "Well, it's for the kids. It's for the school. The money goes to the school." That's the way it's supposed to work. The money goes to the school. Here's the thing, though. I don't have any kids. I'm 61. I'm not going to have any kids, and I never had any kids of my own. I have a couple stepkids. I've been paying for your kids for a long time because you made the decision to have a kid. How does that make sense? Now, there is an argument that paying taxes for better schools creates a better society. Well, I don't know about that. The society we're living in right now doesn't seem to be that great. And if you look into our school system, the school system we have was taken straight from the Russian school system to make more compliant people. At least that was the latest kind of rabbit hole I went down. I don't want compliant people. I want independent people. I want people who can think for themselves and not follow a line of thought that other people have created for them. I want people who are able to learn and not people who are taught. I want people to be taught how to learn, not taught a line of thinking, a way of thinking. That literally is the government telling your kids how to think. That's your job. That's the parents' job to pass their beliefs or their line of thinking, their politics, whatever you want to talk about. That's up to the parents to instill that into the children, not the government. That's Russian. That's communism. It's not Russian. It's communism. I don't mean to call Russians out. I'm sure there's some very fine Russians in the world. It's communism. I would like to see our country go back to, I didn't mean to make this podcast so centered on property tax and schools, but, well, it's Rambling with Joe, so here we are. I'd love to see the schools kind of take a step back. I don't mean a step back into all the ugliness of the early portions of our country, but take a step back to community schools, to schools that don't rely so much on size. We have such huge schools now. Every day I go past the 3 schools in my district schools. Remember when there were neighborhood schools? I don't. It's been a long time since that was the case. I mean, technically, these 3 schools are all in one neighborhood. So, but I don't know how far the buses bring kids for these schools. They're huge. And they're adjacent to our neighborhood, and that's another podcast. But I'd love to see smaller schools come back into existence. Something with a class size of maybe 10 or 15. That would be wonderful. I know. Too expensive. It's not too expensive. This is something you want. You know what building is bigger than either of these 3 buildings? The county school. The County School Commission building. It's gigantic. How much bureaucracy is in that sucker? My point is, you're not getting your money's worth. I'm certainly not getting my money's worth. My money's not going toward a school system that I'd like to support. Yeah, I have not seen a successful government program. I'm trying to think if I can think of one. For a long time, the post office, that's the only one I can think of. Everything that the government puts its hands in turns stale, goes bad, goes down the road of more government involvement. And that's never a good thing. I'm not saying we don't need to educate the kids. I am saying I don't need to pay for your decisions. And the people whose kids have graduated and are no longer in school, they shouldn't be paying for your decisions either. Not just single people, not just people who couldn't have kids, not just people who don't have kids, not just people who are making the choice to not have children. All of those people should not have to pay for your children to go to school. You make that decision. You make that decision. That's on you. Pay for your kids. Why do I have to pay for your kids? I get pretty hot under the collar when it comes to government taxing and the amount of taxes that we're paying now, because trust me, we are paying some taxes now. If our founding fathers saw the amount of money our government was taking, I'm pretty sure they'd start another revolution. This is so far out of control at this point. It's one of the things I hope that President Trump follows through on. Overtime shouldn't be taxed. I can agree with that. Social Security shouldn't be taxed. I can agree with that. If you're collecting Social Security, you've done your time. As far as I'm concerned, there shouldn't be anything. It's a property tax. I'm sorry. This is, that's flat out rent to your government. Bend a knee to your government. That's why you're paying property tax. Forced, and if you don't think it's forced, try not to pay it. It is a forced collection of your funds from the government. So, and people always take a libertarian line of thinking to extremes. And the next thing someone will say is, so you don't think that people's children who need help shouldn't be helped? That's not at all what I said. What I'm saying is that the government should be the last line of defense to help those kids. The last cry for help should go to the government. That should be the last cry for help. Well, I don't want to be beholden to someone else. You're beholden to everybody else right now. We're all paying property taxes to make your kids educated. I'll put that in quotes. In the government school system. And you have no choice. You have to pay that tax. And if you don't pay that tax, then they will come and take their property back. Because if you're paying rent, you don't own that property. So this wonderful house that I live in, it's very meager. It is not my house. It is the property of the United States government. On this level, I suppose, county. Because if I don't pay that county tax, they're going to come and take my house. That's not my house, is it? It's their house. I'm paying rent. I went kind of far afield there. I apologize, but you did turn into a rambling podcast, and that's what you got. By the way, welcome to Rambling with Joe. I hope you enjoyed it. And wow, this is really going to upset the wife, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. If you just take a moment to reach down there and click on that like button, I'd appreciate it. I did a little research into the algorithms, and I really do want to double my viewership. I'd like for it to go from 3 people a day to at least 6 by the end of next year. Anyway, I have an early day today. We have a corporate meeting. It's going to be enlightening, I'm sure. We don't even sit down at these corporate meetings. We just stand around, and the company feeds us. They feed us Chick-fil-A. Well, that's what they have in the past. I don't know what they'll bring today. It's not food that I can have. I'm on a clean diet, and I can't have Chick-fil-A. And my district manager every time tries to talk me into it, and every time I have to resist, because I tell you what, I really love Chick-fil-A. I think today I'll bring a couple boiled eggs and a beef stick, and I'll bust them out while everybody's eating so they don't feel bad for me. I don't usually eat that much first thing in the morning, but every time I'm pushed, these Chick-fil-A's, oh, come on. And I know he cares, and he's not doing it to aggravate me, and he is a super nice guy. And everybody at my workplace, I'm trying to think of anybody at my workplace that I dislike, and there's nobody. Everybody at my job, super nice people. To a person, I really enjoy working where I'm working right now. And my direct supervisors are awesome. It is, I don't know if I'll ever retire. I hope I can stay at this company until I do. I mean, at the minimum, I'm going to shoot for 7 years, 7 more years, 7 more years. I'd love to work into my 70s, especially for the people I'm with now. And I understand that over that time period, things can change, but I really am enjoying working at this company. It's very... I have worked for some people in the past at jobs that I liked, and the people I worked for made the jobs absolutely miserable. I mean, once I was away from the people, the job was okay. I enjoyed it. But the people I had to deal with within the company made those jobs horrendous. Every day I would go in with the anticipation of, I would go in with a dread in my heart that I had to go back to this job. And I had to face these people that they didn't do their job well. And they certainly didn't have managerial skills that made their employees feel welcome and valued. And one thing I can say about my company, they definitely have those skills. They definitely make employees feel welcome and valued. There are some employees that I have heard complaining about the company, and every company has its idiosyncrasies. I wish our benefits department provided us with a better health insurance plan. But like everything else in life, this is give and take, and the insurance plan that we're given it's obviously, I'm a single family income home. My wife is a homemaker, and the system is no longer designed for that. Oh geez, I'm going down another road here. Hey, it is Thursday. The weekend's right around the corner at this point. We are going to have a fantastic day. I am going to go out there and do my job to the best of my ability and try and leave the world a better place than I found it. I hope you do the same. I hope you find peace, love, and dream. Until next time, have a great Thursday.